Are rental prices in Spain limited? Yes or no? That was question 5 that I asked in my daily property quiz. If you missed the other questions or answers, check out the other videos on our YouTube channel, follow us, subscribe, so you can learn every day new things about property and take better decisions. So are they limited? It's surprising how little most people know about the rental legislation and what it means for you if you're an owner of a property that you rent out, or as a tenant, or people who are thinking of renting and searching a property maybe. It's surprising how little they know. It's surprising how many mistakes people make when they sign rental contracts, etc. This is important, this question, or the answer to this question, are prices limited? Because that's what you pay every single month. And that's linked to your obligations, to your rights and obligations in the contract. The short answer is no. Prices for rent are not limited in Spain. It's a free market, meaning that between yourself as a tenant and the landlord, or between the landlord and the tenant, you can freely agree on the rental price. It's typically, of course, the landlord who puts an asking price in there. If you're in an area with high demand, like city centers of Barcelona, Madrid, etc., it's probably very hard to negotiate because there's more demand than supply. But price can be freely agreed between the two parties. Now, there is some complexity. Two pieces of complexity you should be aware of to avoid mistakes on renting a property. And if you want more information on this, actually, I've put together a specific masterclass, brand new, with everything you need to know about renting. I show you rental contracts, which clauses to pay attention to, what are your rights and obligations as a landlord or as a tenant, so who's responsible for what kind of costs or repairs, etc. How to negotiate or deal with agencies who represent the landlord but are often not very helpful. All these things are in a masterclass. Look at our website, €39 discount, especially for our followers. It's going to be very helpful and it's going to save you a lot of money. Now, the two pieces of complexity you should be aware of in this, let's say, free market is, if you have a rental contract and it comes up for renewal, then there is a limitation, and it's a 2% cap, meaning landlords cannot increase prices more than 2%. That's a temporary measure. They just implemented this last month, or just a few weeks ago, and that's basically to offset the inflation. Because rental contracts are very often indexed to the consumer price index, and inflation was around 9 to 10%, it's a bit lower now. So imagine if your contract of €1,000 rent, it goes suddenly to 1,100, that's a big impact, because once it goes up, it will never go down again. So that is a temporary measure, 2% cap on renewals until the end of 2023. Second piece of complexity to be aware of, and that creates a lot of confusion. In Catalonia, that's one region in Spain, there have been rental price limitations. There was basically government intervention in the rental market, and they put a maximum price on rentals. There was a rental index that was applicable to all contracts. It created a lot of confusion, a lot of complexity for both tenants and for landlords. Created as well a market situation or a result opposite to what the measure intended to achieve. The goal of the government, of the politicians, was to have more affordable, therefore lower rental prices. The opposite happened. In Barcelona, the biggest city in Catalonia, it's the second biggest city in Spain. What happened? Rental prices during this rental price limitation went up by 20%. And supply of rental properties, so how many properties are on the market for rent, went down by 46%. So it's absolutely the opposite of what they achieved. Not every, but most economists, most experts warned for this. It was predictable that this would happen. Politicians did it for other drivers, let's say, then really protect the people who want to rent the property. So you've got to be aware of that. Those rental restrictions are no longer in place. They were considered to be in conflict with the constitution in Spain, therefore no longer in place. If you get a rental contract from an agency or from an owner and it refers to rental index, just ask to remove the clause. Okay? Or as an owner, if your tenant says that there's a rental limitation. No, remove the clause. It's no longer in place. So again, as a tenant, as an owner, as a landlord, if you want to know more, if this is important to you, check out the masterclass on the website. 39 euros temporary offer, contracts, clauses to what pay attention to, how to negotiate, how to deal with agencies, your rights or obligations, the costs that you should pay and should not pay, etc. Take a look, enjoy. If you like this, share it. You'll help us reach more people and make some more impact.